Hoop cannot love you. Su Yunju, sitting in front of the screen, sensed the change in her emotions, a feeling of insignificance in the face of greater narratives and higher missions. Silly girl, what are you overthinking again? His voice seemed to carry the power to soothe her feelings. Remember, achievements are never measured by just one standard. Grandma Wu stood up during the tumultuous years to protect her homeland. Lin Ruoxuan gallops in the business world, driving the changes of the times. And you? He paused, his tone guiding and appreciative. You use your voice to comfort countless weary souls, giving many the courage and joy to face difficulties. Your stage is also a battlefield. And the hope and strength you convey are also changing the world, just in a different way. Isn't that another kind of greatness? Who says only those in the spotlight are heroes? Have you forgotten the songs you've sung? Song Jiru listened in a daze, her eyes gradually lighting up again, filled with a hint of uncertain hope. Big brother, do you really think so? Is my existence valuable too? Of course. Su Yunju's tone was incredibly certain. Every talent deserves respect, and every effort shines brightly. You are you, the one and only Song Jiru, with no need to compare yourself to anyone else. In my eyes, you are equally radiant. Song Jiru nodded vigorously, as if she had put down a heavy burden, her face blooming with a brilliant smile. I understand now. Big brother, I will continue to work hard. Thank you. In the following days, with the full operation of Song Jinxian and the backing capital, along with Chong Yuan, an experienced and highly efficient agent joining the team, Song Jiru's career entered a period of rapid growth. A professional team tailored her image, connected top resources, and planned her development path. From album production, MV shooting to brand endorsements and media exposure, everything progressed in an orderly and efficient manner. Su Yunju watched the increasingly busy figure on the screen, effortlessly maneuvering under the spotlight. Knowing that there wasn't too much specific guidance he could provide in her professional field anymore, her wings had already grown strong enough to soar in a broader sky. Thus, he played more of a role as a lyricist and composer. He sent her classic works from different periods of the singer Song Jiru, in roughly chronological order. From Light Years Away, The Wind Rises, to Time Thief. Each song, whether ethereal, warm, or grand, perfectly matched her own growth and the team's planning, continuously solidifying her position and reputation as a powerful singer. Su Yunju frequently clicked the fast forward button, skipping over repetitive practices, busy notifications, and social engagements, selectively focusing on key moments, new song releases, important award ceremonies, and major performances. Although he knew that each fast forward meant the countdown to parting was accelerating, he felt no lingering sadness. Instead, a difficult-to-contain excitement and anticipation took its place. Because after dawn, the reunion in reality was just around the corner. This anticipation diluted all feelings of separation. Not long after the start of the third year, Song Jiru received a call from Song Jinxian. Barely able to contain her excitement, Jiru, the Spring Festival Gala director team, has sent an invitation. Song Jiru paused for a moment, finally realizing she had reached this milestone. She wasn't ecstatic, but instinctively turned back to look at the empty space behind her, her eyes filled with fear and reluctance. Big brother. The Spring Festival Gala has invited me. She had a strong premonition as she looked at the attributes panel her brother had recently sent. That 90 points representing the final push to clear the level. Climbing onto the Spring Festival Gala stage might be the moment he would leave. Su Yunju smiled. Great. You're about to step onto the next level. But the next moment, Song Jiru suddenly rushed into the changing room, locked the door, and curled up in a small corner, her suppressed crying echoing in the empty room. Su Yunju remained silent. He couldn't embrace her. He could only repeatedly and almost obsessively click the reward button, letting that layer of warm virtual aura envelop her trembling back, trying to convey even the slightest bit of comfort. He didn't know how long it had been when the crying gradually stopped. She lifted her head, hastily wiping away her tears, her gaze resolute. Big brother, I'm going. Suddenly, she smiled, her tear-streaked face displaying a tragic yet determined beauty. Just like in A Chinese Odyssey, putting down the golden hoop can't save you, but wearing it can't let you love me. I'll wear the golden hoop and wait for you to take it off for me. Su Yunju looked out at the darkness before dawn and solemnly promised. All right, it will be bright soon. Song Jiru, didn't he ask about the deeper meaning of his words? She took a deep breath and asked, this time, what are we singing? The stars and the sea. I prepared it for you long ago. As the sheet music and lyrics appeared in the void, Song Jiru softly hummed. Whenever you walk towards me, telling me about the stars and the sea, the distant faint light, will you walk with me? Will our love be blown towards the sea by the wind, never to return? By the last line, tears flowed again. She suddenly turned around, staring intently into the void, her eyes filled with fear and despair. Big brother, what does this lyric mean? Never to return? Are you saying goodbye to me? What about the promise of 2025? Were you lying to me? Just like the 16-year promise left by the little dragon girl in the Valley of No Love, was it just a lie to keep me alive? Su Yunju's heart jolted, hurriedly denying. Don't think like that. That's not what I mean. But she couldn't hear him, biting her pale lips. Every word strikingly firm, as if swearing a blood oath. Big brother, listen to me. If I don't see you on May 24th, 2025, that night, I will jump into West Lake from the broken bridge. With the brilliance of the stars above, I will seek you in the vast ocean of stars. Su Yunju pressed his forehead, secretly relieved that he had come back to check the follow-up. Otherwise, if he had a moment of hesitation and decided not to go, it would have been a disaster. The demo of Ocean of Stars immediately caused an explosive sensation among the Spring Festival Gala production team. This song is simply born for this era. The music director was so excited that he slammed the table, praising the grand melody and the heartfelt, Powerful lyrics that encapsulate both personal love and broader emotions. This is definitely a showstopper. The production team promptly decided, the prime time before midnight will be reserved for Jiru. This song is to be the highlight of this year's show. In no time, the entire team was working frantically around this divine song. With top-notch arrangements and a dreamy starry stage, Song Jiru practiced tirelessly. She meticulously polished every word, every breath, and every glance. Because she knew this was not just a performance. It was a love letter she wrote for him, her final plea to him, and a grand farewell. Time flew by. And on the eve of 2015, amidst the anticipation of billions, that night arrived as promised. The Spring Festival Gala stage was dazzling with stars. Liu Dehua passionately performed The Way Home, expressing the feelings of wanderers. Mo1 and Wei Qian softly sang When You Are Old, adding gentleness to the years. The Spoon Brothers and Dinosaur Legend teamed up to ignite the crowd with Little Apple, kicking off the era of plaza dance hits. The soon-to-be popular Shen Li and Ma Teng skit To Each Their Own was filled with memorable lines, making everyone laugh. But everyone sensed that tonight, the one destined to shine, might be the emerging star Song Jiru, who was about to make her debut on the Spring Festival Gala stage. Chapter 063, Tofu After Dawn Backstage. Song Jiru had finished her makeup, wearing a custom-made starry blue gown adorned with tiny sparkling pieces. It felt as if she was wearing the entire galaxy. She looked at herself in the mirror, also gazing at the fading shadow within it. Big brother, she silently chanted in her heart. Her restrained tears swirling wildly in her eyes, blurring her vision. Is it time? Are you really leaving? No one answered. Only the familiar scent in the air, which gave her comfort, was rapidly pulling away with a sense of finality. She took a deep breath, swallowing all her sadness, fear, and love, transforming it into a resolve to march into battle. Now please enjoy the song Ocean of Stars, performed by Song Jiru. The host announcement echoed across the land. The spotlight suddenly lit up, cutting through the darkness to create a path to the center of the stage. Song Jiru, dragging the brilliant starry river, stepped forward. One step at a time, toward the center of attention. Each step felt like treading on the beats of her heartbeat. The music's prelude poured out like a cascade of stars, flowing gently. She raised the microphone, her clear and powerful voice instantly cutting through all the noise. Striking at the soul, I wish to become a star, guarding the buzzing of the deep sea. Just these two lines, in that ethereal yet resolute voice, left countless viewers in front of the television holding their breath. At the moment she sang those lines, she felt clearly the gaze that had followed her through countless days and nights behind her, the warm presence that had supported her through all the confusion and fear. Flickering like a poor signal on a snowy screen, then extinguished. Empty, completely empty behind her. That feeling was like having a rib forcefully pulled from her body. The intense phantom pain nearly suffocating her on stage. He was gone, truly gone. Without even a goodbye, he vanished from her world just like that. But she did not stop. She couldn't stop. This was the song he had given her, her final confession to him. She transformed all the pain, all the love, all the despair into a more fervent, more passionate song. I rush towards you. You are the stars and the sea. In the high notes, she sang with abandon, her heart breaking, as if she had exhausted all her life as strength to rush towards that destined void. At the moment she tilted her head back to sing, the tears she had held back for too long finally burst forth. The sparkling tears traced her stunning face, reflecting the light like shattered diamonds under the spotlight, then fell heavily onto the stage. On stage, she was the new star that everyone looked up to, shining brightly and adored. Within her soul, her world was collapsing, standing alone atop the ruins, bearing this heart-wrenching farewell that no one knew about. She persisted until the last note was sung. Amidst the thunderous, endless applause, she turned around, bowed deeply to the empty space behind her, revealing a tragically beautiful smile filled with tears. Goodbye, brother. Goodbye, my first love. That night, the emotional performance of Stars and Sea by Song Jiru and her tears during the Spring Festival Gala instantly ignited the entire internet with a terrifying intensity. It moved people to tears, truly moved to tears. That drop of tear landed directly in my heart. Who was she looking at through the camera? That gaze was heartbreaking. This was undoubtedly the most shocking live performance in the history of the Spring Festival Gala. No exceptions. The screenshot of her singing with her head thrown back, tears streaming down her face, the starry river shining behind her, was crazily shared and remixed online, becoming the most classic moment of that year's Spring Festival Gala, no exceptions. No one knew that the torrential tears flowed for a deeply memorable, interdimensional companionship and farewell. She finally donned her own golden hoop, becoming the national diva, yet lost her own Zixia. Of course, not all the gazes directed at her in this world were filled with praise and emotion. For example, in a certain cell of the first detention center in Changzhou, Su Kuan, wearing a yellow vest symbolizing death row inmates, with shackles on his feet, was curled up in the corner of a large bunk, staring intently at the flickering television set high above. On the screen, the woman he once regarded as a plaything, who directly led to his family's downfall, stood at the pinnacle of the world, receiving the cheers of the crowd. Boundless regret and anger rolled in his murky eyes. In front of the screen, Su Yunzu watched as Song Jiru stepped onto the stage that attracted everyone's attention. A wave of indescribable melancholy surged uncontrollably in his heart. He listened quietly to her singing and watched her struggle to hold back tears, feeling a mix of emotions. Suddenly, the familiar system notification sound echoed again. Cold and mechanical. Ding. Song Jiru's overall charm value has stabilized and surpassed 90. Hidden talent heavenly voice activation level has reached 90. Song Jiru has been crowned as the goddess of song. Reward settlement. 20,000 mall coins. You can say a final blessing to her. After which the next cultivation target will be loaded. Su Nua. Hidden talent. Extreme will. Would you like to proceed immediately? Su Yunzu's finger hovered above the keyboard, not pressing down for a long time. Unlike the naivety and confusion when he first left a message for Lin Ruoxuan, this time he was more thoughtful. He absolutely could not let Song Jiru fall into self-doubt and mental exhaustion. He had to give her a clear and hopeful future. Suddenly, a relieved smile appeared at the corner of his mouth, and his fingertips danced lightly on the keyboard. Song Jiru, I regret it. I don't want to wait until May 24th, 2025, to see you again. Let's meet a day earlier, on May 23rd, okay? If that day you stay at Xiushui Villa as planned, remember to wear a mask and walk to a breakfast stall between Yuwang Tomb and Minghua Tower. The owner is a bespectacled uncle. I want to eat your tofu. No, I want to treat you to tofu pudding. Let's take a break for a while. For the next 10 years, let's be happy. I'll be waiting for you by West Lake, and then we can go see the real Starry Sea together. After writing this, Su Yunzu let out a long breath, as if he had released a burden weighing 1,000 pounds. Checking the time, it was already past 4 in the morning. He glanced at the new target Su Nua and the label of Extreme Will, muttering to himself, this name, this talent sounds fierce. Is it possible I have to train her to become an Olympic champion or a Special Forces elite? He casually opened a webpage to search for Su Nua. There were quite a few people with that name. The encyclopedia had over 50 entries, with a few actually being athletes, but none of their achievements were top-notch, seemingly not matching the system standards. It seemed this lady was not simple. She was a hidden powerhouse. He yawned and thought, never mind, I'll start the new chapter tomorrow. I'll get some sleep and recharge. He turned off the computer, dove into the soft blankets, and entered dreamland with infinite thoughts about tomorrow. After all, when dawn broke, he still had to head to West Lake for a 10-year promise. Chapter 064, Song Jiru's first meeting with Lin Ruoxuan backstage at the Spring Festival Gala. As soon as Song Jiru stepped off the stage, Song Jinxian and Chang Yuan rushed over like two whirlwinds, excitedly hugging her tightly. Jiru, absolutely perfect. Tonight's performance was definitely epic. Did you hear that? The audience outside is calling your name. You have conquered the entire world. Before Song Jiru could respond, the last words left by Su Yunju echoed in her mind, about the promise to meet a day earlier. Tears uncontrollably welled up again. Thank you, big brother. She silently shouted in her heart. Thank you for giving me all the courage and hope to live. Without this promise supporting me, I really don't know how I could endure the days and nights without you. Song Jinxian was unaware of the tumult of emotions within her, still immersed in great excitement, and mysteriously pulled her. By the way, Jiru, tonight, we have a heavyweight special guest arriving. My cousin, the true mastermind behind Qingxing Media, the founder of the new generation back in the day, has specially adjusted her international schedule to fly back from Europe just to meet you. Only then did Song Jiru lift her tear-filled eyes and look in the direction Song Jinxian indicated. She saw a woman in a high-end custom white suit, gracefully walking through the bustling crowd. With a tall posture and steady steps, the people around her unconsciously quieted down and made way. At 25, she was stunningly beautiful, with an appearance that took one's breath away. Between her brows lay a distant and composed demeanor honed by years of being in power. Her aura so strong that it was hard to look directly at her. Song Jiru's pupils suddenly constricted. This was the legendary Queen Lin Ruoxuan, whom her big brother had sought numerous times, sparking countless curiosities and jealousies within her. Lin Ruoxuan stood before Song Jiru and elegantly extended her right hand. Congratulations, teacher Song. After tonight, the pinnacle throne of the Chinese music scene will be forever engraved with your name. Your voice has the power to define the aesthetics of this era. Her gaze fell on Song Jiru's tear-streaked yet enchanting face, a fleeting complexity passing through her eyes before transforming into appreciation. Song Jiru hurriedly shook her hand. Thank you for the compliment, General Lin. I wouldn't be here today without your strong support and that of the company. Capital is merely a booster. Lin Ruoxuan gently shook her head, her tone firm. To soar to great heights relies on your irreplaceable talent and strength, teacher Song. We merely recognized this value early and made the right investment, mutually achieving success. At this point, her tone suddenly took on a hint of apology. I must admit, I've actually wanted to meet you for a long time. But, she pointed to her heart, revealing a helpless smile. My situation, you must know a little about it. That day in Jinli, you saw my current state. I can't handle too much stimulation. Song Jiru recalled the previous visits to Wu Shiyun, where she had inquired about Lin Ruoxuan's condition. The elderly man, who had fought through life, sighed and said, Little Lin is very ill. Xiaolin has always wanted to find you, but as you have seen, her mental state is fragile. She is such a proud person. Perhaps she could accept her partner being with another younger and more beautiful woman, but what she cannot bear is the fact that he is clearly present. Yet she cannot see him. The jealousy and despair of having to communicate through others is more torturous than any direct competition. Her medical team absolutely does not allow her to be subjected to such emotional stress. Su Yunju, sitting in front of the screen, fell silent for a long time after hearing this, ultimately managing only a bitter smile. Yes, this is even more cruel than being cheated on. To seek her through another woman is truly too harsh. It's like keeping the original cat locked outside, forcing her to watch her owner pampering a new cat inside, while she doesn't even have the right to scratch at the door. It was only recently, after a long period of psychological treatment, that the doctors finally agreed her mental defenses had been rebuilt enough to face various sudden situations, allowing her to meet Song Jiru. Song Jiru nodded. Lin, I understand. She immediately thought of a suffocating possibility. Perhaps her brother hadn't really left, but was, like years ago with Lin Ruoxuan, now behind another younger girl who needed him more. The thought pierced her heart with pain. Lin Ruoxuan's gaze drifted past her shoulder into the void behind her, her lips trembling slightly. Is he watching us from there? She finally summoned all her courage to face this reality. Song Jiaru felt a lump in her throat and shook her head, her tone filled with endless sorrow. He just left. Lin Ruoxuan felt as if struck by lightning, her hands trembling violently. Indeed, she understood what I was asking, and it truly is his style to suddenly withdraw at the peak. She forced down her surging emotions. Did he leave any message? Song Jiaru looked into Lin Ruoxuan's eyes, filled with obsession and pain, and softly said, he told me to be happy and mentioned that he would come to see me one day. Boom. This sentence exploded in Lin Ruoxuan's mind like a clap of thunder. She trembled violently all over, nearly losing her balance. The assistant nearby rushed forward in panic. Oh my. Lin, don't think about it. Quickly, get the medicine. Lin Ruoxuan pushed the assistant away, her face as pale as paper. Her heart wrenching. He never said he would come to see me. When he left, he said nothing, like a final farewell. In his heart, am I really not as good as her? I climbed to the top of the world just to make him appear before me. Yet he easily promised another woman a reunion? No, that is not my tyrant. No, absolutely not. My tyrant must be lost somewhere. I need to find him. I must go find him now. Seeing that she might have caused a great disaster, Song Jiaru hurriedly stepped forward to support her other arm, urgently explaining, I'm sorry, Lin. You misunderstood. He has been looking for you. He has asked me many times about your whereabouts, but he couldn't find you. Your phone number is invalid, and your whereabouts are confidential. It's not that he doesn't want to see you. It's that he can't find you. Lin Ruoxuan suddenly closed her eyes and took a few deep breaths. When she opened her eyes again, she put on a flawless mask of calmness, her voice returning to its usual coolness and distance. Teacher Song, congratulations again on your successful performance tonight. However, I believe the person you mentioned is not the same as the one I have been waiting for. I apologize for my outburst. Song Jiaru was momentarily stunned, unable to fully comprehend this abrupt change. But when she saw the pleading look from Lin Ruoxuan's assistant behind her, she instantly understood and could only swallow back all the words that rushed to her lips, nodding submissively. Lin Ruoxuan walked alone to the window, gazing at the faintly visible astronomical observatory. Her silhouette remained imposing, as if the woman on the verge of collapse moments ago had never existed. That unapproachable obsession was once again tightly sealed beneath an impenetrable exterior. At that moment, Song Jiaru suddenly understood that sometimes, the deepest obsession is not the desire unfulfilled, but the unwillingness to face a possibly harsher reality, preferring instead to live in a self-deceiving illusion. He came, and then he left, and perhaps he loved someone else more. May 23, 2025. In a villa hidden deep within the plane trees in the city, Lin Ruoxuan woke up promptly at 5:45 a.m. This was an ironclad rule etched into her biological clock, unchanged for 15 years. Dressed in a silk nightgown, she walked to a massive oil painting occupying an entire wall. It felt like she was completing a sacred ritual as she waved her hand at the large painting in her bedroom. A hint of youthful playfulness tugging at the corners of her lips. Tyrant, good morning. I will obediently go for a run, and you mustn't call me today. In that moment, she seemed to transform back into the little girl who had just finished her college entrance exams, pouting and acting spoiled to the air. Before changing clothes, she habitually swiped her phone screen, her gaze fixed on the video sent by Song Jinxian at 1 a.m. It was a clip of Su Yunzhou singing at a karaoke venue. Chapter 065. Yes, it's me. I'm back. When Lin Ruoxuan's fingertip lightly touched the screen to open the video sent in the dead of night, the familiar melody, accompanied by a slightly hoarse voice, pierced her eardrums, causing her body to tremble. On that fateful night in 2008, when she bought a lottery ticket according to the tyrant's instructions and won the grand prize, that voice, only she could hear, hummed this song in just such a tone. Although Su Yunzhou's singing technique in the video was flawless and pitch-perfect, the careless, laid-back feeling, those signature vocal transitions, and even the subtle pauses during breath control were all strikingly similar to the habits of that mysterious presence deep within her memories. Impossible. This cannot be. Lin Ruoxuan's heart raced suddenly, and her mind flashed with more doubts. The Bitcoin wallet password that only she and the tyrant knew, that asset held for over a decade, seemed to have been predicted to soar. All of this felt like. She grabbed her phone, disregarding the fact that it was only 6 o'clock, and directly dialed Song Jinxian, this lazy cat's number. Jinxian, what's going on? Why is Su Yunzhou singing this song? On the other end of the line, Song Jinxian complained sleepily. Sister, what time is it? It's just a song, right? He can sing whatever he wants. Do you really need to analyze it? Yet in her heart, she scoffed. Huh, weren't you just saying there were no romantic feelings? What a lie. Now you're all worked up just because of a song. Lin Ruoxuan forced herself to take a deep breath, trying to steady her voice. What else did he say last night? Song Jinxian yawned and casually replied, oh right. That lunatic also asked me to convey that he wants to invite you to Binzhou for a cup of blue electric coffee. Uff, who does he think he is? He really doesn't know his place, daring to summon you like that. Don't worry, sister, I'll definitely find someone to deal with him. Hey, sister, why did you hang up? Blue electric coffee? Those 4 words struck Lin Ruoxuan's mind like thunder. She hung up the phone, standing there in a daze, her gaze once again fixed on the oil painting on the wall, as if she wanted to see through the eyes of the person in the painting to uncover the truth behind the fog. For a long time, she couldn't snap back from the immense shock. These were clearly words the tyrant had said to her, a reference only they understood. Su Yunzhou knew about this? What was going on? This Su Yunzhou was someone she had watched grow up. She cared for him simply because his face bore a striking resemblance to the tyrant's, making it unbearable for her to see any expression of pain on that face, which was why she provided some insignificant care in secret. She had never been foolish enough to equate Su Yunju with the tyrant. At most, during some lonely nights consumed by solitude, she had briefly and despicably considered using him as an emotional substitute. But why? Why did all the recent clues bizarrely point to the same absurd conclusion? He, Su Yunju, was very likely the tyrant himself? She couldn't make sense of it. No matter how she tried, she just couldn't understand. She wasn't stubbornly disbelieving in metaphysics. Nor had she never considered that Su Yunju might be a reincarnation of the tyrant, but that made no sense at all. Because the year the tyrant completely disappeared from her world, Su Yunju was already an 11-year-old boy. The timeline simply didn't match up. From a rational and logical standpoint, it just didn't add up. But what if? No. Today she had to get to the bottom of this. Trembling, she picked up her phone again, scrolling to the number she had saved for a long time but had never dialed. Label, Su Yunju. Her finger hovered over the dial button, and this queen, who had made decisive moves in the business world, was now as nervous as a prisoner awaiting judgment. Finally, she closed her eyes and pressed down. Do. Su Yunju had just turned off his computer and barely slept for 2 hours when he was abruptly woken up by a series of relentless calls. What the hell? It's so early. Whoever it is better have a good reason, he muttered as he grabbed his phone, blinking away sleep. He was shocked to see over a dozen missed calls, all from the same unfamiliar number in Shanghai. A strange premonition jolted him awake, and he immediately called back. The phone was picked up almost instantly. On the other end, a voice, strained and trembling as if on the verge of collapse, came through. Tyrant? This long-lost term that belonged only to them made Su Yunju's heart skip a beat. He took a deep breath, suppressing the swirling emotions, and replied with an unprecedented gentleness. Yes, it's me. I'm back. I'm back. Those simple 4 words felt like a key that instantly unlocked the emotional floodgates sealed for 13 years. On the other end of the line, there was first a deathly silence, then an uncontrollable sobbing, the sound of a woman shedding all her strong facades, revealing her most vulnerable self. I don't understand. I really can't comprehend all of this. Lin Ruoxuan's voice was filled with panic and helplessness, like a lost child. Is this a miracle? Or have I gone crazy? But I need to see you. Right now? Please let me see you. I need to confirm that you're real. Okay. I want to see you too, very much. Su Yunju's voice was so gentle it could almost melt. Don't worry, this isn't your imagination. Nor is it a relapse of your old illness. This is all real. Wait for me. 1 hour, no 40 minutes. Give me the address. Her tone was urgent and desperate, almost as if she had burned all her bridges. He could clearly hear the roar of a sports car engine and the howling wind on the other end. I'm already on the highway. Just past the Dongtang service area. Su Yunju held his phone, momentarily at a loss for words, feeling both amused and helpless. What the heck is going on? I just arranged breakfast with another woman, and now Lin Ruoxuan is racing over in a supercar, not even giving me a moment to manage my time? This chaotic scene is too sudden. But then he forced himself to think positively. A 35-year-old business tycoon and a 31-year-old pop diva, after all these years. They should have matured and become more reasonable, right? Surely they wouldn't make things difficult for a younger brother who is only 26 in actual age, right? He steadied his mind and told her the location he had just arranged with another woman, feeling a mix of emotions. Let us meet at the breakfast stall by the West Lake, next to Mingyue Building, in front of Yuang Tomb. Meanwhile, on the other side, after returning from the nightclub, Song Jiru spent the night in a state of almost self-torturous wakefulness. No, not just last night. During the 3 nights she had been in Binzhou preparing for the concert, she had nervously run to the suite door countless times, repeatedly checking the door that had been intentionally left open for someone. She even tirelessly reminded the hotel front desk again and again, if anyone asks for me, regardless of age or gender, no matter how late it is, even if it's 3 in the morning, please notify me immediately. As the night outside gradually faded, the silence outside the door remained unbroken. All hope seemed to rest solely on the breakfast appointment, as fleeting as a bubble. 10 years had passed. Nearly 4,000 days and nights. She had questioned more than once whether the words "let's meet a day earlier and have breakfast together," which lingered in her ears after her brother left, were merely a figment of her deep obsession, a beautiful delusion she was reluctant to wake from. After all, throughout these 10 years, there would always be moments of disorientation when she felt as if she could hear that familiar, deeply ingrained voice, tinged with playful laziness, guiding her to a specific time and place, both real and surreal, leading her to travel thousands of miles with hope, only to return empty-handed and heartbroken. But even if there was only a 1 in a billion chance, even if this was yet another self-deception destined to fail, she had to go. This belief had sustained her throughout the long decade. Chapter 066. Will I wake up today? At 6 in the morning. The morning mist by West Lake had yet to dissipate, carrying a refreshing chill. Song Jiru got up, bathed in cold water, and then put on her treasured battle attire, a simple white sweatshirt and fitted blue jeans. It was the style her brother admired most, and the coordinates most familiar to her youth. She donned a mask and a hat, tightly wrapping her stunning beauty and the swirling emotions of the moment, and stepped out of the autumn water villa alone. Joggers brushed past her, their footsteps rhythmic. In a daze, she felt as if she had been pulled back to the days when her brother forced her to jog in the mornings. And that lazy yet undeniable command echoed in her ears. Back then, it felt like torment. Now she understood it was a beautiful memory she could never return to. One that had been protected. The tomb of Yu Fei was only a kilometer away, yet she walked as if traversing her entire youth. Sweat silently soaked her temples. Her heart raced in her chest, each beat pulling at every nerve in her body. Every step balanced on the edge of hope and the abyss of fear. She longed for him at the destination, yet feared that it would be empty. Terrified that this decade-long wait and belief was merely a beautiful bubble of her own making, fragile and ready to burst. The outline of the tomb of Yu Fei began to emerge through the morning mist. Nearby, the aroma of breakfast wafted up from a food stall. The scent of soy milk and fried dough mingling with the morning's humidity, creating the most ordinary yet warm scene in the world. Just as she paused, her gaze aimlessly sweeping over this human warmth, she suddenly froze. Amidst the rising steam stood a young man. He wore an outfit from a casual brand that seemed particularly flashy in the cool morning, his stature tall and demeanor distinguished. Oddly out of place, yet strangely fitting into this scene. The contours of his face, his brows and eyes, Song Jiaru's heart skipped a beat, then raced as if wanting to leap out of her throat. Was this her brother? Or was it Su Yunzu, the Duck King who had a fleeting encounter with her at the conference the night before, teased by Chang Yuan, and eventually taken away by Song Jinxian? Or perhaps it was that boy from over a decade ago, who fell clumsily in front of her on the playground of Binyang No. 5 Middle School. His ears flushed red. A wave of fear, more intense than homesickness, surged up. She almost dragged her weak legs, trembling as she approached, using all her strength to squeeze out a call tinged with a tempting sob. Big brother, is that you? The young man turned his head at the sound, and it was Su Yunjua. He smiled at her with an incredibly familiar grin. A hint of lazy mischief that almost instantly broke the dam of tears she had held back for years. Then, he waved his hand casually, his tone so relaxed as if they had merely arranged to meet for tea. Juru, you're here? Come sit over here, it's a bit hidden. So we want tea be caught by tourists. His tone seemed nonchalant, but who knew that beneath his calm exterior, his heart was already in an uproar. It's really Song Jiaru, the living, breathing Song Jiaru, the one who, under my guidance, transformed from a socially anxious little rabbit into a music industry queen. She's really here, just because of a few words I said before the game ended at dawn. She actually appeared at this breakfast stand 10 years later. Indeed, everything that happened in that game, all those days and nights of companionship and guidance, were real and not imagined. Song Jiaru felt as if struck by lightning, her whole being frozen in place. This voice, this casual tone, and he not only knew she would come, but also confidently called her name. She had disguised herself so well that even her closest assistant couldn't recognize her. That's right. It must be Big Brother. He had always loved this simple yet exquisite style of clothing back then. He could wear a virtual skin until the end of time, only changing it when she couldn't take it anymore, pouting and even threatening to stop working, and he would tease her about being such a meticulous manager. Song Jiaru's heart raced, pounding so hard it made her ears buzz. She was still a bit in disbelief, fearing this was just an overly realistic dream that would shatter if touched. She felt like a small beast led astray, willingly walking into a hunter's trap. Her body stiff as she made her way across from him and slowly sat down. Above her mask, those stunning eyes, filled with extreme shock, cautious probing, and disbelieving joy, were glued to him, as if he would disappear with a blink, leaving her unable to utter a word. Su Yunjua, however, paid no mind to her almost out-of-control silence, continuing to laugh to himself as he waved to the busy owner. Boss, 2 bowls of tofu pudding, add more osmanthus sauce, and make it sweet. All right. But Song Jiaru's heart sank suddenly, as if she had plunged from the peak of emotional waves into an icy abyss. Big Brother knew. She was from Bashu, used to the spicy and fragrant flavors since childhood, and had always been indifferent to sweet tofu pudding, considering it an abomination. He used to tease her about being a little chili pepper, saying her taste buds were marinated in red oil. Watching Su Yunjua skillfully mix the bright red syrup into the bowl of soft tofu pudding, she bit down hard on her lip, almost tasting blood. Indeed, was she still deceiving herself? The person before her wasn't him at all. Su Yunju seemed unaware of her unusual behavior and pushed the prepared tofu pudding in front of her, speaking in a somewhat affectionate tone. Actually, I wanted to find you a few hours ago. The place we agreed upon long ago, at Xiaoshui Mountain Villa, I still remember. But I was afraid it might be too late to disturb your rest. And I also worried that the security over there is strict and might treat me like an overly enthusiastic fan and keep me out. Anyway, I've waited 10 years. So a few more hours won't make a difference. That's why I came here to wait for you. Song Jiaru felt her mind buzz, instantly going blank. He knew everything. Could it be that this living, somewhat cynical young man in front of her was indeed the older brother who had played the roles of a deity, mentor, and first love in her life? Su Yunju watched her adorable, completely dazed expression and couldn't help but smile wickedly, pushing the sweet tofu pudding closer to her. Speaking in a commanding tone. Humph, I've told you before, sweet tofu pudding is the true path of humanity, the universal truth. Now try it. No refusals. The last trace of doubt in Song Jiaru's heart was completely shattered. Her vision blurred, tears streamed down her face, and she trembled as she looked at Su Yunju. Her voice choked. Big brother. She instinctively wanted to stand up, longing to touch this real dream. Don't move. Su Yunju gently commanded, then raised his trembling hand toward her masked face, slowly and firmly leaning closer. Countless times in dreams, he had tried to take off that mask to see her face, only to wake up at the crucial moment, leaving behind a sense of loss. Would he wake up again today? As Song Jiaru watched his hand edge closer, she felt her blood boiling, burning. She trembled uncontrollably, her skin slightly warm from extreme tension and anticipation, her heart pounding as if it would leap out of her throat. But she didn't flinch. It was as if she were under a spell, slightly tilting her flawless face, waiting with an almost sacrificial desire for that touch that crossed 10 years of time. Chapter 067. No. You came at just the right time. Song Jiaru clearly felt the warmth of his fingers gently glide over her sensitive ear, lightly hooking the strap of her black mask. In that moment, it felt as if the entire world had been paused. She could hear her heart pounding like a drum, and she felt the slight tremor transmitted from his fingertips. He was nervous too. In the soft morning light by West Lake, Amidst the gentle sway of willow branches in the breeze, that hand slowly and steadily pulled down. Like the most moving slow-motion scene in a movie, a stunning face. With tear stains still fresh, shock and suppressed joy from 10 years exposed completely and unreservedly to his gaze. She could even feel the cool morning air brushing